Hello, and welcome to the next episode of the Spirit and Soul podcast. I am your host, Tiffany Cohen, and today we have one of my favorite people in the entire world, Erica Rose, with us today. And she's got I'm going to let her say it. She's got an important announcement to make, and I'm just so proud of you, Erica. And I'm going to let you say what the announcement is, and then I'm going to tell you how proud I am of you. Go.
Thank you. Well, hello, everyone. And so my announcement is my book is officially here. Magical Ever After, Manifesting Your Fairy Tale Romance with Angels, Mermaids, and Fairies. A book that I have put so much hard work in. I have been working on for several years. It's now here. You can now get it. And we're having a book launch party. And I'm so excited.
Cannot wait. I'm so proud of you, Erica. Seriously. I know that, first of all, I know how hard you worked on this book. Like I feel like I, have been like with you as you were like writing it, and like you're like, all right, this is what it's going to be about, and like all these things and all Erica's dreams. And I just feel like just so proud and just like so excited for you, and like you freaking did it, girl. Oh my God. I'm just so proud of you. So first of all, for those of you that don't know, Erica is one of our teachers here at Spirit and Soul. So if you don't know that, you should by now, okay?
I'd be surprised if you didn't.
You don't.
You probably see me on the Instagram a lot. You probably see on the schedule, like every week there's with Erica.
Yeah, with Erica. But Erica, I've watched grow from the first time she walked through these doors into the woman that she is today. She has really just allowed the universe to kind of guide the way, I feel like. And like, you're such an amazing manifester. So why don't you tell everybody a little bit about how the book came to be and the dream, when it started?
Yeah. So I think if we were going back to when it started, it's probably like little 3-year-old Erica. Honestly, I used to write stories before I could even write. Like before I even knew the alphabet and could read, I would make little pictures. I would use stickers and I would write little scribbles. Actually, my very first story, I still have it. It was about aliens that lived in a cave.
I
had
love
alien
that for
stickers.
you.
So it was always in there.
Very on brand for all.
Yeah, very. But yeah, then as I, aged and even as a kid, that was always my favorite thing, writing stories. I would start by writing, like handwriting with pencils. My aunt and uncle would make little like books for me. They would get like blank bound books, and I would write stories and I would illustrate because I love to draw. And then as I was like a teenager, my parents got me a computer. And so like even on like Saturdays and Sundays, the weekend, like I would just be typing up stories. I just loved writing and creating worlds so much. And I really wanted to be a published author. And so I actually wrote a lot of fantasy first. That was my thing. And I was like, okay, I'm going to be like a fantasy author, And so I just, even when I was in college, I studied graphic design because actually that to me felt more of like the sensible choice. And I was like, okay, I can still write in the meantime. Because I actually innerly, I felt that if I had studied design, if I had studied writing, I was going to hate it. It was going to take away my creativity. So I went for art, but like still in my heart, I was always like, I want to be a writer. Like that's my dream career. That's what I want to do. I was always writing stories. But I experienced so much rejection, and I mean like hundreds of rejection letters. But all while this was going on, I was still on my own spiritual journey, and I was just into spirituality because it was a hobby. It was kind of like writing. It was one of my favorite things. I loved connecting to my angels. And, even as I was getting all these rejections, it made me feel better, like getting guidance. And I kept hearing like, no, it's meant for you. Keep going, keep going. Because I remember in particular one day, there was a day when I think I just received one too many rejections. And I remember like sitting on my floor and being like, angels, like if this is meant for me, like please show me a sign. Like if I'm not meant to do this, then just please let me stop. I'll pivot. I'll do something else, but please show me a sign. And I felt called to hit shuffle on Spotify. And I had like over 3,000 songs on Spotify. and Don't Stop Believing by Journey came up.
Oh, I just got
I
chills.
started sobbing. I was like, it is meant for me. Yeah, and then somewhere along the way, as I got into more of like starting my own Instagram account and posting inspirational messages and began more of the teaching, I started doing more spiritual writing and manifesting writing and writing about, my story, all the things I had learned about the universe. And then I was like, wait, maybe this is why it never worked out with fantasy. Like, I was always supposed to be a writer, but I think I'm supposed to be a nonfiction writer. And so I still had all these ideas. I always wanted to incorporate like the magical element and the fun element that I'm known for, the whimsical element, into my spiritual writings. And I still kept submitting, but it was a little harder because it's harder to find like spiritual publishers, like fantasy publishers, they're everywhere.
Yeah.
And then one day I came across Use Oracle Press from my friend Taylor Eaton, who does the Wealthy Woman Oracle deck. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to try submitting to them. And I submitted. And actually, what I submitted was a deck. And they were like, I love this. I'd love to talk to you about this. So I met with them and I talked with them. And I mentioned that I wanted to also write a book about manifesting love, but like a fairy tale way. And my publisher was like, I love this. Let's do that. So that's where it began. I started writing and now it's finally here. It was a lot, especially I think you're faced with a lot when you go through the editing experience.
Yeah, I'm sure.
It's like, oh my God, this is hard. Why did I sign up to do this? But then like coming through the other side, it's like, oh my God, I did it. It's here. And I read through it and I'm like, oh my God, it's actually good. Yeah, so it took a long time and it was a long journey of ups and downs, but throughout it, I just never stopped believing because I had this desire in my heart. And I also had the universe, the angels, the fairies, the mermaids, everyone within me just telling me like, this is meant for you. You can do this. It's going to get there. And I just knew that someday it would. And that someday's here.
I love it. Oh my God. I love it so much. And I love that how you're talking about, it took time. It took time to manifest it. Yeah. And then once it came to fruition, it wasn't just like, you're an author. It was like, oh, now I got to do the work.
Yeah. I think sometimes we're faced with that when it's like, okay, we think once our dreams come true, it's going to be so easy. And I am so grateful. And I know for you too, when your dreams come true, it's so grateful, but it could be exhausting too.
Absolutely.
So it's like understanding that there's balance to it, that not all of your problems are going to be solved from your dreams coming true, but it definitely gives you such a greater sense of fulfillment as you're working through it. You're like, all right, I'm living what I once dreamed of. So I'm going to appreciate it more as I'm sobbing getting through this.
Yeah. Yeah. And you know what? The universe would never give you something you couldn't handle. And I think that's when, even as we have our dreams come true, it's like they do feel a little bit overwhelming. And it's like, okay, but this wouldn't even be in my field if it was not for me. Right. And so it's like, as you face these challenges, it's like, yes, because the universe knows that I can handle this. And that makes me know that I can handle it.
Right, exactly. If it was easy, I always think of it like playing video games. I love video games. That like if you could just sweep through a video game on easy, like there was no challenges, like it would be boring,
Yeah.
We come to Earth School to learn, to overcome, and it's just that much more triumphant. Like when I finally got this book deal, like I just felt so accomplished and so proud of myself. And I was like, oh my God, I did it. I'm here. And in the long run, even though it took, over a decade of me trying and wishing and manifesting and praying, like it felt like it took no time at all. And I think that's important to know as you're working towards your dreams. Like, it's going to take time, but soon enough, you're going to be living that reality. Like time moves so quickly. It's going to be here before you know it.
And I think it's important for people to see that too, because I feel like so let's look at authors in particular. It's like there's this like amazing like book that comes out and like everybody's going for it and it's like, oh wow, like they're so great. And it's like, no, like that author was submitting and getting rejected over and over and over and over again. It's like you don't see the journey that it takes to actually have a book published.
Yeah, and also just reframing rejection. That's been such a huge part of my life in publishing a book and in love, which I talk about in here. But I understood that anytime a publisher said no, like I would let myself feel that, that it hurt, but then I would just kind of, get back to it and be like, you know what? this was not my publisher. And I started to actually say, like, thank you, universe, for blocking who is not meant for me. I am open for who is meant for me. And this is something I say all the time, is that we're not the only piece on the board. Things need to align. Like, I needed to be with this publisher. I love them so much. I've gotten along so well. They're great. They listen to me. They value me. It's a great collaboration. And but they're a newer publisher, and they didn't actually start until the end of 2023, beginning of 2024. So I needed to keep going, keep believing, keep trying, as I waited for them to become the publishing house that I needed them to be. So the universe knew, okay, this is the most aligned way. Like, just wait, you're almost there. And I think it's so important that people understand that, there's other pieces moving around on the board.
Yeah, and I love how you were talking about how you were doing fiction writing first. So like that wasn't meant for you at that time, right?
Yeah.
Like your way in was through this, right? Through the nonfiction aspect of it. And so it's like that part just wasn't meant for you at the moment. Doesn't mean that in the future it may not be. That may
Right.
be a thing for your future.
Yeah.
But right now, like that's how Erica needed to get in. So again, it's like what pieces are on the board. Like remember that.
And I learned so much about writing from actually doing the thing, from actually writing. Even though it was fantasy, it still, taught me what sounded good. I was self-editing. I was working through it. I was actually writing, like a 50,000 word novel from start to finish. So like all of that helped me, even though it's not what I write now, it still helped me become a writer and get used to that process and just get better at my craft.
So Erica, tell us a little bit about the book itself.
Yeah. So this is also funny because I think that this book, if you told me 10 years ago, like, you're going to be a published author, I'd be so happy. But it was also telling me, like, and you're going to write a book about manifesting love. I'd be like, so I did it. I have love.
I have love, you mean?
When you think about it, this really is a culmination of my two biggest dreams, because my biggest dream was to be a published author and also to find true love. And I think that was something that when I was younger, maybe I was like ashamed to admit, because I feel like there's kind of a stigma around that. Like, oh, she's just a silly girl. She just cares about love. Like, there's more important things in the world. But I realized actually by telling myself that was actually blocking me from manifesting love. But I still I just wanted that fairy tale romance, just like you see in the movies, just to feel that passion, have this deep connection with somebody, and just go through life together. And I was not experiencing anything like that. I was not meeting men that I vibed with, or they didn't like me. Like, it wasn't working out. And so, but I realized my power, and I remembered I know so much about manifesting. Like, I had manifested so many cool things at that point, like, concert tickets and even friends. I manifested amazing friends into my life and opportunities, but I hadn't with love. And I was like, wait, what if I just got really serious about this? And I began to study the energy of love. I paid attention to my friends and my family members who had love, what their mindset was, what their thoughts were, what their beliefs were. And then I looked at my friends or people I knew who didn't have love and what kind of energy they were projecting, what they were doing. And I applied so many of the principles I knew about manifesting and how I personally manifested to love, and just embodying the version of me who had love, who knew it was possible, who pretended it was already here. And also, I think one of the most important things was I let go. I think the universe often doesn't give us what we want until we're okay without it. Like being like, you know what, universe, I want this, but if you don't want this for me, I accept it. It's okay. I trust that. And maybe the next lifetime.
But I really want it in this one.
But after that, then things really fell together for me in terms of manifesting love. And I have an amazing love story with my now husband, Justin. And so all of this, I learned so much. And over the years, I used it to help friends, to help clients in spirit and soul classes. And so it was so fun to put all of that knowledge into a book, just everything. Like, I love when people come to me in readings and they're like, I'm trying to manifest love. And I'm like, I got you.
You're like, you come to the right place.
Yeah. And I'm like, I could talk forever about this. So I did. I talked forever in the book. And to me, one thing that's always been so important is my connection to spirit, to the angels. And angels have been with me for most of my life that I've worked with them. But then, in my 20s, I got into working with more elementals like the fairies, the mermaids, which is very in my vibe. So I loved being able to incorporate them into this book as well, and teaching you how to work with angels, fairies, and mermaids, and not only working with them and getting to know them and trusting your intuition, but working with them to bring more of that love into your life. And this book is not only a culmination of helping you manifest romantic love, but it helps with self-love as well, which is such a huge piece of the puzzle in creating love into your life.
Well, I started reading it and I
You
love
did?
it so far. I
Yeah.
cannot wait to like just get through the whole thing. That's how I get with
Yeah.
books that I'm like get so excited
Yeah.
about. I'm like, I just want to get to the end and like absorb it all.
Yeah.
But I love it. I
Oh,
think it's
thank
just so
you.
good. It's so you,
It
and like
is.
I feel you in the pages of it.
Oh,
And I
thank
think that
you.
that's sometimes hard for authors to do. I
Mhm.
really do, because I've read
Yeah.
so many, but I'm a huge reader. But if you know Erica, you feel her in the
Oh,
pages. And I
thank
think
you.
if you even don't know Erica, I think you're going to get a vibe of her energy
Mhm.
right through those pages, because it's you.
Yeah. Oh, I
And
love that.
I love it.
I'm glad it comes through.
It does. It does. So, what do you think is, and I know everybody's got to go out and get the book. You can get it at Spirit and Soul. And if you get it through Spirit and Soul, it's really the only place you can get it signed
Yeah,
by Erica.
every copy that comes through our door, I will sign. So if I am there when you're buying it, I'll sign it for you. Or even if you order it and want us to ship it to you, I'll sign it for you. I will sign every single copy I see.
Yes. But what do you think is like one beautiful tip that you could give everybody today that maybe is like a little bit of a vibe of your that's in your book,
Yeah,
without
I
giving
think
too much away, of
yeah,
course?
I think overall what really encompasses my book is the idea of romanticizing your life, just turning everything romantic, because I think so often we go through life and we're so focused on what's wrong, or even just like what we need to fix, that we don't appreciate what's good, and we don't recognize that there's so much beauty and magic in the everyday. Like even just going outside, like look at the rainbows in the sky, or the colors of the sunset, or if there's a butterfly flying by, or like if there's two strangers and one offers somebody help. Like there's so much beauty in this world, and there's so much beauty in each and every one of us. One thing I always say is that your soul before incarnation, it chose to be you. It had every option in the world. It could have chosen from a multitude of people, of personalities, of appearances, everything, and it wanted to be you. And that's so magical and beautiful. And I think when you open your eyes up to magic, magic shows up for you. So when you choose to believe, like, you know what, life is amazing, life can be beautiful, life can be magical, you're putting that energy out there, and then the universe is going to show you how magical it can get. And that's what I think romanticizing your life is just making fun out of every little thing, like lighting that candle, being extra with that pretty dress or outfit,
Yeah.
having like the full course meal with the dessert or whatever it is, having the romantic candlelit bath, like whatever way that looks like to you, just like make yourself the main character of your life, and that will attract love in all forms.
Erica, like, this is one of my favorite things, honestly, because I truly believe in that romanticizing, in the intentional living of life. I think it's beyond important, because then
Yeah.
you're just on a hamster wheel in life.
Yeah.
You're just like, go, 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 and you're not truly living.
Mhm.
So Erica's book is like kind of making you stop and say, like, okay, it's time to start to truly live,
Yeah.
romanticize your life, like look around you and see what's actually there, rather than just like walking past the flowers. Like maybe stop and take them in. And I know
Yeah.
I'm guilty of this too sometimes, where I'm
Oh,
just like, oh my
definitely.
God. And then like my husband's like, oh, did you see the flowers here? Andrew's always the one that's like,
Oh.
he's always the one that's like, did you see those beautiful flowers in the block? I'm like, no.
That's so sweet. I
Yeah.
love that.
But it makes me though stop. And I think that it's
Yeah.
so important to do this in your life.
Yeah, we are, like you said, we're on a one track mind sometimes, and we don't appreciate just all the magic, or even appreciating the people in your life. And I think that's such a big part of, especially if you're trying to manifest romantic love, is recognizing that you have love in your life already, whether that's through your friends, your family, you know, your coworkers, if you love them too.
Yeah.
You have good ones. I fell in love with my coworker, so I think that helps. That's my
Me
husband now,
too.
for those who don't know. Yeah.
No, but I feel like I've fallen
Yeah.
in love with all of you guys. You
Oh,
know what I mean?
thanks.
Like there's magic in that, but you have to like appreciate. Like after certain things, like I'll send like Erica
Yeah.
a text me like you did so great. I love it. You know, like
Yeah, so I think just realizing like, wow, I'm so grateful I have this person in my life. What a magical thing that we chose to incarnate together, and we
Mhm.
chose to have this strong connection. So seeing all the connections in your life and just genuinely appreciating them, that really helps boost your love energy as well.
Mm. All right. So you know that if we're gonna be having this conversation right now,
Yeah.
we have to. You don't know where I'm going right
I
now
don't
with
know where
this,
you're going. You say you know,
but
but I don't.
so we have to talk about how I want to highlight for everybody listening how much of a strong connection you do have with the fairies
Oh yeah. Oh, okay,
because
I know where we're going.
because you have to tell the story of what happened at Spirit and Soul.
Yes. So earlier this year in May, I did a fairy class. We did a fairy circle. You know, it was about teaching everyone to connect with the fairies. We were manifesting big wishes. And one thing with the fairies is it's great to give them gifts, not as a token of payment, but just as a form of appreciation. Like think of it as like you're showing up to your friend's house. You're going to bring a bottle of wine or a plate of cookies. Like
Yeah.
it's kind of like that
Yeah.
vibe.
You
Like
don't show up empty handed.
yeah, they love that. They appreciate it. So I made the prettiest altar right in downstairs in Spirit and Soul, and I was like, let's go full out. I put these beautiful roses on the altar. I put like this big rose quart chunky plate we have. I used we have that cult chocolate, which is like the
Mm-hmm.
fancy dark
Yeah.
chocolate. I put that there. I was like, thank you, fairies, for being with us. And we had a beautiful class. It was so fun. Some people in that class manifested things like instantly, because that's what's
So
pretty cool
cool.
about the fairies is in the fairy realm, things manifest instantly. So working with them can really help speed up your manifestations. So yeah, we did the class, all was great. And then a few days later, I don't know who it was, one of us happened to notice that there was a mushroom growing out from like under the baseboard of the store. Like what would you call that? Like the
Yeah, it was
molding or
through
something
them
like
from the
that
molding. It was coming up from the
underneath.
floor.
We're like, what is this? And then my first instinct was, oh my God, it was my fairy class. Tiffany's never going to let me teach a fairy class ever again. I'm going to be banned. I was like, don't say it was me. I was with Carrie that day and I was like, no. I was like, oh no, it's definitely the fairies. And she was like, I was thinking that. And then we looked it up and it was an oyster
It was
mushroom.
an oyster mushroom.
These are the bougie
The
fancy
bougie
ones.
is because she did a bougie altar.
Yeah. So they were returning the gift, and you know, we had the owner of the building like open it up, go in there to see if there was any problem. There was nothing.
Nothing.
There
Like
was
we're
no
like,
mold,
yeah.
nothing on the other
We
side.
thought that maybe there was moisture. Like we're like, oh my God, this might be bad. And he goes into the crawl space and he comes out and he's like, everything is bone dry. I don't know what goes on here, but I'm here for it. Like this is crazy.
And so then Andrew, I remember a video got sent to the group chat. Andrew like scraped it out, took it out, and he gave it back to nature and was like, thank you, fairies. We appreciate your gift. Because, you know, we didn't want to offend them. We were like, thank you. This was so kind
Yeah,
of you.
but we can't have a mushroom growing in our store.
But one grew back again on Tiffany's birthday. So we were like, no coincidence. Like that was the fairies definitely being like, happy birthday,
Yeah.
Tiffany. So we're like, I was like, oh, the fairies love you.
No, that was, but like, do you see like how much of a connection that Erica has? And I think that, you know, this is working with elementals is something that people, they don't pay enough attention to be quite honest with you. I love working with
Yeah.
elementals. And I think that having Erica as your guide, obviously she has a strong connection with them. They grew mushrooms for her out of nowhere, out of concrete, no less. Okay.
It's unreal.
All right. So she's a wonderful guide to start to open you up to other ways of working with energies that are out there that are there. There's a whole realm that you're kind of missing out on, right? Like think that we think of angels, which is amazing. We love working
Yeah.
with angels, but I think we only think of angels, you know, and it's like, no, we're missing the point. I think that there's so many other ways that like, why wouldn't you want to have as much help as you can.
Yeah.
And
I always say try them all, because that's how you learn who you best resonate with, who you connect with. We also, in terms of past lives, we can also have past lives in different realms. So you could have had a past life in the fairy realm, in the mermaid realm, even in the angelic realm. Maybe your soul originates. I was going to say your soul's origin. Your soul's origin is from one of these realms, and you don't know until you actually reach out and connect with them. And in terms of fairies, there's all kind of like an ACOTAR. There's all different types of fairies.
A court of thorns and roses, for those that don't know.
And that was actually something cool for me on my journey of working with fairies. I was doing a fairy meditation, actually one that I made, because I kind of make the meditations that I like. It's on the Spirit and Soul app. And I have myself like walking through a forest, and I've done this meditation many times. And all of a sudden, like, it just got overtaken by snow, and I was in a wintry forest, and the whole scene shifted, and I felt the winter fairies come forward, and they were like, we've been waiting for you. We've been trying to work with you. Like, you're from our realm. And I thought that was so cool, which is funny because I'm such a summer girl.
I was going to say,
but then when I looked back on certain things in my life, I'm like, oh, like there were, like I was obsessed with Queen Frostine from Candyland. Like I needed to be her. Like, and I remember having a thing that said like Ice Princess when I was little. And I always, even though I was always summer, I was like, wait, there was always this like icy vibe in my life that I liked. And it just made sense. And I learned something deeper about my soul. So that's really cool when it comes to working to these other elementals, is you're going to learn more about your soul, and they're going to also like help you tune into your magic on a deeper level.
So you guys, like, you're sleeping on it.
Yeah.
Get on it. And I hope that Erica's book really starts to open you up to all of that, because there is really so much magic and power actually in working with all of the different energies that you can, and how you work with them, and when. And some are not going to be for you, but then you're going to be surprised that a lot of them actually are. So I really can't wait for you to read Erica's book and to hear more about how she works with them. She can guide you through it, and to see what you manifest from it.
Yes. Yeah. I'm so excited. And, this book is just going to help you in so many different ways. Just believe in yourself and believe that anything is possible. And the main point of the book is obviously romantic love and self-love, but I think you'll learn to fall in love with your life a little bit more too. And any of the principles, any of the exercises in this book, you can also apply that to any other area of your life. Manifesting love is no different than manifesting money and manifesting a career. Like, it's just the energy you assign to it. So you can use these exercises to manifest anything. But I definitely recommend just manifesting a life you love and so much magic.
Oh, I love that. Well, Erica, I'm going to tell you one more time that I'm so deeply proud of you.
Thank you.
And I can't wait for the launch party. I can't wait for everybody to have this book in their hands. I think you're going to help so many people. So one more time, so proud of you.
Thank you. Yeah. And I'm so grateful for you and guiding me on this journey and just helping me in these past several years. You've enhanced my life so much. And I said this on the Spirit and Soul retreat, but it's like when you're in this community of people who believe, you start to believe that anything is possible. And I've definitely had that. I've always believed, but I've definitely believed on a deeper level from being around you. So thank you so much.
All right, guys. Well, make sure that you get the book. Is there any last words you want to leave everybody with today? I think you kind of said it, but just in case. Just make sure they're following you.
Yes, follow me on Instagram at erica.rose.enchanted. But just believe that your fairy tale is possible. I think we're in a world that encourages the fact that life has to be hard and scary and messy. And sometimes it is. We have the ups and downs, but overall, you deserve your happy ending, and not just an ending. You deserve a happy life. You deserve a good life. And life can be like the ones you read about in the stories and you watch in the movies. It can be that big, bold, happily ever after. So believe in that. You got this.
Agreed. 1,000,000%. 1,000,000%. All right, guys, make sure you grab Erica's book as soon as we put it out on Saturday. I think I'm going to do this as a bonus episode so everybody hears this beforehand. Yes. So if you're listening to this in real time, we are having a launch party for Erica's book on Saturday, October 25th. So make sure that you guys are, we're going to also, if you can't be in person at our Babylon location, we are going to have a little Instagram moment where we go live, and you can watch what we're doing here. You can order Erica's book, get it in your hands, support her, but also support your own life, because that's what you're really doing when you get her book. And thank you for tuning into this episode of the Spirit and Soul podcast. See you next time.